Are you an esports fan? Prove your knowledge and start winning cash on Alpha Draft Fantasy Esports. This year, we'll pay out over $5 million in prizes to over 50,000 esports fans every single week. To play, first select from hundreds of contests from the hottest esports. Then, choose your team of pros and watch their stats update in real time during games. Right now, we'll match every dollar you deposit up to $250. What are you waiting for? Redeem your deposit bonus and play Alpha Draft now.
Welcome back, everyone. Map number 1. Maybe not what you would have expected coming in. Again, obviously, we had those roster situations. I would have never painted the picture, though. Coming into that map number 1, it would have been a 16-2 scoreline. That is a bit of a domination. That being said, we do have Inferno coming up right now. We do see it is currently going live, so let's get this started. So Team Liquid on the CT side. This is the sponsorless map choice, as the other team going to get side selection. So of course the CT side started. This is where things get dangerous. If sponsorless don't pick up this pistol round, we might see Team Liquid do similar things on their CT half than what we saw on Dust 2. I'm not gonna throw that in there just yet. But if, again, sponsorless don't take pistol, there's the possibility for it. They're going to go for a B-side play here, and we do see a lot of damage dealt. No one dead yet. Lige actually going to be taken down. First blood in the round, as Shazam does deal that frag. Nap and Rush combined, and all of a sudden we got Hiko and a Dren 2v4.
And they don't have a smoke upper garden either, so might be able to put these USPs to work. Spots one behind the barrels, can't get him down. And Sponsorless still unsure that both of the players have rotated from the CT area. And a Dren rotates to CT. One member still approaching from the garden. Ricks onto a Dren. And quickly Hiko to follow. Sponsorless taking the pistol round. It got close, but Fugly just couldn't line up any shots from the new box. And after that, his teammate and Dark got overwhelmed.
And I think that's a pretty nice play there from Ricks in that he was the only person left out of those 4 players that had full hit points. And he gets those last 2 frags. He's going to be the one to peak, not the other guys, as they're probably going to drop like flies, even if the headshots don't come in, as, again, they got like 30 hit points apiece. So good play from him as well, and we are going to see Sponsorless pick up their pistol. And like I had stated previous, I think that's really good news for them, as coming off of that 16-2, you really are fighting for any momentum you can get, and this is a fantastic start.
Yeah, good on them so far. Liquid trying to contest the banana here, right on the other side of Sandbags is a leash and still itching to get some action. And he got out of that Molotov with only 5 damage taken. Tried to hide behind Sandbags. Not a bad decision by a leash, considering they had just cleared it with a Molotov and Dap. So, good on him to check it, even though they cleared it.
Yeah, and I'm not sure if they spotted him get back in, because it looked like there could have been like a shoulder of his that they saw it go back in, because I like the idea as well, but I don't know if he had the timing. That being said, they're going to move towards the bomb site where both players on the CT side are defending. 2 frags now for them, as we're going to see Naf try and make it work inside of Halt. We got 45 seconds, but Fugly making things difficult, going to try and challenge the player in Boiler. Naf goes down, and this is terrifying. 35 seconds for Ricks to try and salvage this.
Yeah, and Adren only has to hit him. Oh no, he does have quite a bit of HP. Adren playing some risky stuff, but he does hear the player going towards Arch side. Now wrapping into the bomb site. Fugly's not on his way. Fugly still thinks it might be heading towards the B site. Adren tags him. Got to get out of there with the no-scope. And now Fugly racing to the other bomb site. He knows Ricks is low, though. So it's going to come down to positioning. Ricks is unsure where Fugly's rotating from, and he might put himself in a bad spot here. He gets into pit safely before Fugly arrives. So he Molotovs off apartments, and now he's going to be checking periodically from the pit. Both players with submachine guns here. Going to be a spray battle. Ricks gets the headshot onto Fugly. And ooh, that was a close one. Sponsorless almost gave up their momentum.
Very, very close. And Ricks making it work in the end there. Takes towards A, and once he does get that bomb set, even though they're both at low hit points, it's a matter of, he does have the advantage. It's more or less peeking out when hopefully Fugly's not checking towards pit. You could see he was focused on like Graveyard. He was still working on that kind of preliminary as soon as you hit the site where he's checking and such. So good work from Ricks. Takes him down from the pit area, and Team Liquid not able to afford much in this round. They spent a ton in the last. Want to have a decent buy coming into that first rifle round. Sponsor was sending a lot of presence towards Banana, similar to what we saw in the last round. But Stack here from the CT side, a bit of a different look on the B bomb site. So if Sponsorless decide to just take on in, might be their demise. But there is no armor on these players, so they're going to need to hit their shots if they want to make this work out.
Yeah, they just got to be aware that there could be a stack and not get caught in these crossfires. And Sponsorless not taking into apartments at all, so they are going to be running into the stack and running through it so far. Elige does get one for Liquid, another one for Nitro, so already some decent damage done here for Liquid, but they do lose the bomb site. Given their investment, it's good for them that they got two. They could have got more with the stack. Even the third.
Okay, then.
Fugly, don't tell me this clutch would be unreal. Rush still with 100 HP. Fugly gonna peek him while he's planting the bomb. Rush does get it down. He thinks it could be coming from the CT though. Fugly looking for the timing. If he can peek him as he's going in. Oh, Rush gets him. And Fugly there. That was impressive. That shot over the top of Spindles. Ooh, that was smooth.
That was really, really nice stuff. Granted, that was the player that he had just dealt a ton of damage to. You could see at the start of the replay here, that was the player, Daps, that he sent down to less than 10 hit points. Gets the double dink onto Rix and then follows up to Daps. Man, that was ridiculous with the USP. And now we do see Team Liquid. Now, with everything they require in the round, actually, Hiko is broke enough that he went for a full nade set. And he has no armor to play with. So, and now he's the only player at B. This just got really dangerous as Elige maybe overextending a little bit there.
Yeah, they go for the gambit to try to aggress into the car. And Hiko gets cut off by a Molotov. Doesn't want to take any damage from that. His teammate Elige tries to rush down. And they just get separated. Elige falls. Good advantage now for Sponsorless. And you can see here, Liquid at this point, it's a 4-on-5. Do you really think you're going to be able to hold the bomb sites playing two-man each side? Probably not. So they go with the gamble, and once they realize it's an A-site take, we're probably going to be seeing a save come out from Liquid, unless the pit player Fugly can come up big.
It does look like they're actually rotating back. This is interesting considering they haven't had a lot of action towards middle. They head back towards B and Banana, and all of a sudden, Team Liquid looking to be in really good shape here. Dren rotating back towards that area where CT spawn, or that CT spawn smoke would drop, and with 30 seconds remaining, Hiko still has a smoke. Now he's going to utilize it before they actually execute, and he's actually going to smoke on front site. Interesting, Fugly onto Shazam, and they are going to rotate back here, so Dren onto Daps, but it's up to Fugly. He's got 15 seconds to delay this plan. Can he make it happen?
Fugly here gets the first one, but they do trade off onto him still. Numbers advantage here for Liquid. Just enough time to get the bomb down. Player watching the mid flank. That's going to be Rush. Rix onto a Dren. That was a critical frag. Now both Liquid members are going to be rotating from the CT side. Good crossfire here, but no, Rix himself gets aggressive, and now it's Rush all alone from the apartments. Liquid have to clear things out quickly. Rush, is he going to go for an entry frag here? Gets one, gets back into the apartments. Nitro looking to respond. Can't get him down. Hops on the bomb. Is it a fake? He might be sticking this here. Rix makes a bit of noise. Nitro hops off the bomb. Rix with an instant headshot onto Nitro. And again, very close there. And what Sponsorless did, they had Shazam. They were ready to go up Banana. They had Shazam creeping up the arch side. It got a little scary for them because Shazam called for them to come back to the A-bomb site. And the moment he makes that call that it's clear, that's when the pit player peeks and takes him down. Had Fugly got at least one more there, then that was probably a Liquid round, and it should have been a Liquid round anyways. Yeah.
Very nice stuff from Sponsorless as they move up 4-0. Great news for them. Coming off of map number 1. Lots of momentum here. Team Liquid, they've made every round very close, but they haven't been able to secure one on their end. That does mean the comeback ability is there. You definitely, they're one round away from sending the other one onto Eco, but Sponsorless keeps putting them together and then has one round where they survive with at least 4. They're in really, really nice shape. So they're going to poke up towards Banana once again. You can see that Rix is leading that charge, just slowly inching up. And they're playing it pretty soft this time. They decide to stack A on that CT front. And it's only Hiko at B. Goes down, doesn't get anything done for himself. And now it's up to the remaining CT players to try and make this as expensive, hopefully for their case, as they've made those other rounds.
Yeah, that's what they got to keep trying to do here. Normally, I'm a guy who says, you know, if you're already down this much in the round, you might want to just consider saving. But since sponsorless are so low with their economy, it's not bad for Liquid to potentially give them that a little bit extra money in exchange for potentially taking the gun away. And that chance is fading away as Elige goes down. They are going to be rotating into one more player here. That's a Dren. Throws the pop flash, gets the fight onto one, but can't drop Naf in time. And now sponsorless surviving with 4. So that's the most they've survived with the round thus far. Great for their economy, because now that's going to put them at a point where Liquid can still win a round and they'll be able to buy thereafter. But question is, can Liquid finally put one on the board? First gun round, they had went with some banana aggression and they lost the early part of the round due to that. And I expect them to go for a more standard play here this time. And who knows, they did go for the aggression on a momentum deciding round, and they're going to continue with their banana aggression. Not as committed down yet, but it looks like Liquid's plan at banana is to contest, at least at the start of the round, because they haven't altered from this yet with when they've had weapons.
Exactly, as they do Molotov towards car. CT side smoke comes down, and I want to highlight something. We got Hiko with 0 frags, Rix at 11. So for both of those sides, you got the stand-in where he's just, it doesn't seem like he's firing on this map as of yet, and maybe that's to do with, I'm remembering back, I'm quite certain on Nylon he played a similar position at the B bomb site here. So I don't know if it's something to do with him and Elige working at this bomb site, not able to, again, we're only 5 rounds in, so there's a lot of kind of metagaming before anything. But Rix, on the other hand, he's doing big things, finding entries left, right, and center here. So if both of those storylines kind of continue the way we've seen them, oh, hold that thought. Fugly comes up from behind and gets 3. Impeccable timing. Rix will, there we go, speak his name again. He does take down Elige, so heading towards B are the remaining teams.
And Hiko looking for the spam through the smoke. They wait for a spam, and then they go for the bomb plate. Ooh, Rix eats one in the leg. And now they do get the bomb down here, but with that damage done, really tough on sponsorless to get this round. This would be a massive steal if Naf could come up with this clutch. And takes the first fight, wins it on Nitro. Lots of damage exchanged. And Liquid take their first round surviving with 3. 3 could drop 2. Good job on them to bring that amount of numbers in the first round that they won. And yeah, that round was decided by the flank of Fugly, finding the perfect timing to come through and catch the 3 players of sponsorless trying to wrap unawares. And at least sponsorless got the bomb down there, because they were down, what was it, 5 versus 2? Yeah.
Yeah, no, that was good news, and at least get that, like you said, bomb plant in means that they got a pretty formidable buy coming into this one. I think we're going to see Rush, the only one a little bit ill-equipped, but TZ75, still a bit of a pocket AK, so see if we can make that work towards Banana. We got a 3-person defense early here, and this is a bit of a response maybe problem with the aggression we've seen from sponsorless on almost every round moving up Banana, but this round they decide against it, and it's actually Daps finding a frag over towards A on a Dren.
And Liquid is gambling tonight. Right after they take their first round, a Dren decides to push into the apartment, so they're looking to take the momentum back and just run away with it. But in turn, they're playing some risky stuff. Fugly looking to follow up the aggression. He wins this duel versus Daps. So the numbers have been even up. Sponsorless going to execute quickly into A, following up that apartments player dying. They lose the duel versus Hiko, and he promptly drops a Molotov. So sponsorless have control of middle, but down a man. Got to find an entry somewhere, as there's still 45 seconds left on the clock. Still have some time to rotate back and forth. Fugly lurking on the other side of the smoke here. Is he going to go for the spam? Nitro falls to Naf. Once the smoke dissipates, Fugly's going to look for the frag. He gets spotted out, wins the duel on Naf, looking for the trade. It's sponsorless, though. And now they're going to make the move into A bomb site. And Hiko was just rotating, so now out of position.
Yeah, he's going to make it into library. We're going to see Elige coming up from Speedway. Finally get the call.
What?
Okay, then. Right, Hiko. That's definitely how that should have went down. Beautiful spray down as they both move up to that kind of front site plant for apartments. And we all know that to be a pretty common headshot angle. And Hiko sprays, I think the first one at least was right before the smoke went down, but the second one, my God. That was ridiculous.
You can see that, I'm not sure if we can see the banter between these guys. Shazam says, nice shot. Hiko says, thank you. Nitro says, was it though? And that's my question too. Like, was that really a nice shot? Should that really have happened? Probably not, but it did. And that is massive for Liquid here. I mean, well, sure, you might get one, and you expect him to spam down a low player, but not line up both of the headshots like that.
Both headshots.
Sponsorless
Both headshots.
Gotta be human after that one. Shouldn't have been the way it went down, but it happened. Now Sponsorless on the eco. Gonna be throwing some stuff out mid and then trying to bust the rest of the players' apartments. Problem being there's 2 players in the pit. Likely a shutdown by Liquid here.
Yeah, Fugly, first one, and he's been a strong presence. 12 and 5. Nitro, similarly, comes up with 2. And Shazam does find Hiko, and he's got an M4 for his effort as well. Makes it into CT spawn, and he can make this more expensive as Adren does make it out of there. 2 hit points. Nitro will be his savior as with that USP takes Shazam down. So we do see Team Liquid stringing 3 together. Sponsorless with 5 already. That's honestly excellent for them. Early on, they put those 5 on the board. Now it's a matter of, can we get a couple more before the end of the half? Is it done damage? Go for it. What were you going to say?
On the other side of the coin, like, sure, it's a great start for Liquid, but these rounds came... they started... For Sponsorless, yeah, these rounds came for Liquid. They started around 4 versus 5, and Sponsorless could easily be up, 7-1 at this point had they not allowed Liquid to come back from that round. And oh man, they take up into B. Liquid try to play 3 at B, and they just donate all of their lives to Sponsorless. This might be safe from Liquid, and I'd argue for it.
Yeah, Nitro tries to spam through the smoke. Rix has already moved up though. And Sponsorless going to put their 6-1 on the board. Great news for them as it looked like Team Liquid finally getting their footing, but like you had stated, go for the 3-player hold once again, and it's able to capitalize on that frag on a Fugly. 5 left alive here for Sponsorless means very nice things for their economy as well, as we'll have everything they require coming into this round. You can see around 3K as well, especially if they get a bomb plant. If they lose a round, they'll still be all right. Where the Team Liquid side, they are done losing rounds. They are going with the force buy route. You can see 3 M4s out of it, 2 5.7s.
Yeah, and it would be baffling to me if they did play standard here after going for so many aggressions on the gun rounds. So they're not going to play standard on this force buy, and I like that. They have 1 player pushing up into the apartments here. And Fugly with this position, yeah, arch side's open, but at least they know nobody's coming from the apartments area. So Liquid, they are aware of this. And they have Nitro lurking in the library. This is just a great strat by Sponsorless, given what Liquid is attempting here. Nitro finds the timing, gets one, and collects his weapon. Advantage numbers to Liquid here. And how they have Sponsorless crushed. This is looking like a good retake, but still, they don't have all the nades and guns they really want.
Fugly drops Nap to 4 hit points, but does go down. We're going to see Nap dive into the pit as they do lose Rush, and Nap goes down as well. So it's up to Daps and Shazam. 1 in pit, 1 from sight. Shazam gets the first one as he pushes the smoke, but can't get in the same position to take the second one.
Shazam.
Never mind, as he does make it work, and Daps from the pit. They both get 2 frags apiece, and that was a pretty hold from the Sponsorless side.
Yeah, Shazam hitting the no-scope after missing the shot. Daps coming up from the pit. Good hold by Sponsorless in the 4 versus 2. Just when the momentum swayed to Liquid that round, Sponsorless snatch it away from him. 7-3 now. Liquid heavy investment, absolute investment in the last round. Now seeing them having to save at least 1 more round. And with that, Sponsorless should have at least taken the half victory in terms of the score. Now, Sponsorless creeping up Banana. If there was a push coming through from Liquid, they would be ready for it. Got players watching ult, player watching mid. Very standard anti-eco here from Sponsorless. Really negating the chances of anything crazy occurring from the Liquid side. And if they went for it, well, they'd be ready.
Yeah, they certainly would be, as Fugly, it's taken down to 20 hit points. He's trying to work apartments here. Peek towards middle. Still just trying to bide his time. Gather some info for his team, as again, he's the only player over at A. He wants to make as big a presence as possible. And we are going to see the Sponsorless side decide to commit up towards A. They're going to go truck side, and this is a good read on the situation, as there is now going to be 2 players there, but Nitro goes down. Fugly from the pit, not able to do very much. Adren from arch side as well. Yeah, they've done some decent damage to the T side, but no frags as of yet. It doesn't look like, unless Elige can come up big here, they are going to be able to get any. So yeah, 5 left alive. Once again, great news for the Sponsorless side, as they're just building up a bank, and they're building up a bank where Team Liquid is still at 3 rounds. This is turning into, I wouldn't say it's a runaway, but Sponsorless doing big things here on the start of their map choice.
Yeah, they've been able to master the economy once more. And Liquid, once they could finish off the half, probably going to be seeing double digits for Sponsorless or more. Now, what's the strat here from Liquid? Going to nade his teammate a little bit. There's a leash. Not a lot of damage to Hiko, only 3. And still contesting Banana a little bit is a leash. And they haven't been wanting to just give it up entirely. Seemingly the whole game. And a Dren here pushes up mid. Catches one from the arc side. A leash down Banana as well. Looking real strong here from Liquid with these little aggressions at the start of the round. And even though Liquid, yes, it costed them some rounds at the start, they're still willing to go for this opening aggression. And Inferno, it just tells you a lot about the map. When something hasn't been working that well, and still going for it, it just shows you how the map works.
We'll see Daps actually take down a Dren, so he posts up in middle. The rest of his teammates going towards B, though, so it seems, as Daps does get taken down. Nitro credit for that, and ooh, Elige getting the read that he hopped up onto the box there. Very nice stuff, as he's actually going to peek back around from that first set of oranges. Takes down Rush as well. So 4 rounds for Team Liquid. They could definitely bring it back to 8-7, and to be fair, that's still a fairly standard scoreline. Maybe we would paint it to be 8-7 for the CT side, but Team Liquid not out of this if they can win out the half, and that's something that we, especially later in the half, we weren't saying in that last map. Even if they were winning out, the Sponsorless side was going to be at a bleak scoreline. Team Liquid does have an opportunity to get back into this one.
Yeah, a little bit. They got to keep winning here. They're not well off economically yet. And Sponsorless, not going to put too much pressure towards B this time, more towards the apartments here, so just getting control of the bedroom as well as the window. And how do they go from there? Liquid have 2 at the arch side, 1 playing in the pit area, and it looks like they want to execute quickly here from the Sponsorless side. Fugly trying to maintain control of the pit, and he's going to get overwhelmed here. His position's a little off. Never mind, still staying alive. Sponsorless not coming out of the apartments, and they wanted to wait for their mid guys, but it kind of staggered their take, and Liquid just took it from there.
Man, Rix is going to be the last one up. See if he can make this any more expensive here for the CT side. Hot flashes as they are all around his positioning. He won't be able to get anything more done. So 5th one comes in for the Team Liquid side. 2 away from that kind of win out that I was suggesting that wouldn't be that bad a situation, but they are still 2 rounds out from that scenario. Sponsorless with enough to get AKs in their hands at least for, let's see how good this buy actually turns out to be. We're actually going to have 2 players. No, I lied. They just have some AKs on the floor. So only 1 player with the pistol. I thought it was going to be more than that, but they are
never
able
lied,
to afford,
Chad. You're mistaken, not lying.
There we go. All right, fair enough. Fair enough. As we will see, once again, they go for banana pressure, but the incendiary, maybe not the best idea. Dab's kind of on a lone player mission, goes down early.
Yeah, and Liquid continuing the aggression towards Banana. They are going to exhaust the last flashbang on the aggressing player. Now it's Hiko falling back. Nope, still hanging on to it. And now advantage for Liquid as Shazam goes down. Hiko, is he going to continue peeking from CT? Ballsy stuff, but he has gotten them the lead. And now Sponsorless going to fall back towards Banana, avoiding Hiko, grouping up towards mid. And with 1 player down, it brings the likelihood that there's only 1 player playing at each side from Liquid, which is the case here. So which side do they want to attempt? They go arch side, going to have to do with the CT rotator eventually, but if they can take down the player at Moto quickly, then they would be in business. Nitro still finding the timing to lurk back around into the site. Molotoving off the Moto side, focusing all their attention towards Porch now. Even gets a nade frag. Nafto comes out of the apartment, gets one of them, trying to find the player from the pit. Now in the bomb site. Oh, Fugly falls to Nap too. So Sponsorless suddenly with a great shot.
Yeah, this is looking very interesting as Adren making out through library. Hiko booking it on over. Real 2 flashes. Nav tries to push and get the jump on Adren. I didn't see it from his perspective, but Adren definitely took a second to react there, so... Oh, we do see Rix, though. Big headshot from him. Cannot connect on the second, though. Adren dropped to 27 hit points, but he will be able to clutch the round. And yeah, Naf trying to peek aggressively in that 2v2. Again, you're trying to grab the advantage, but I don't know if you saw that from his perspective. Did he was just off his mark, or again, from a Dren's perspective, it was like, okay, 1, 2, I hear spray, and I look over and I kill him. So
yeah, I wasn't
looked like
watching
maybe
him.
a bit of a whiff there, but nonetheless, 6th round for Liquid.
Yeah, it's a very aggressive play. And is it necessary in the 2 versus 2? You can argue for either side, really. If he gets a kill and gets out of there, suddenly they're in a 2-on-1. But if he gives it up, well, it puts his teammate in a predicament. Now sponsorless. Last round of the half here. Looking to at least make it to the 9th round. Liquid tripling up at B for the opening, and then falling back. Sponsorless not going for the apartments control just yet. So more of an apprehensive start to the round for Sponsorless here, as Dap's going to try to get something done at Banana here. Knows one's behind the car, and he's all alone. Liquid sending another member back towards B. Dap's doing a good job distracting, and if Sponsorless execute into A now, well, this is their window.
Nitro is going to be peeking back towards top middle here, and Rix peeks out, and he will drop that player, sees the bomb as well, will whip the next one. Actually, I don't know if Shazam got walled by that or if that was earlier damage. Nonetheless, he is tagged up. They switch back towards B, though. With this amount of kind of lack of noise and presence in middle, I wonder if Liquid could get a pretty good read on this. Alige gonna nade over possibly.
Dren still has a smoke, too.
He can still utilize that. Yeah, with 30 seconds left, that's basically that checkmate as they can flash through, but that makes it incredibly difficult to push in. And Dren gets the first one as he makes it in. Daps will connect onto a Dren, so they got a 2-on-2 making it in, but Alige from New Box. Naf, can he get it done here? He's got 20 seconds to find the frag and get the bomb set.
Wow.
That's a good way to start as he takes down Hiko. And he's going to get the bomb set, so up to Fugly and Nitro.
Sometimes you need a little luck to make these things work. Naf here, gotta make it 2-1 versus 1s. He's getting cut off from both players. And Nitro peeks up Banana. Doesn't even need help from Fugly, but he would have got it. Likely the trade happening. Naf making a round out of it, though. Surprising that he got it done through the smoke. Good prediction shot, but Liquid gonna make it as close as possible. And it's a good half from Liquid, considering they went down 5-0 from the get-go.
Oh yeah, I think that's an excellent half coming in after kind of what we've seen about halfway through. But once again, guys, want to point your attention to some giveaways. Luminosity hooking everyone up here with a field-tested Karambit Crimson Web. If you guys want to get in on that, it is a Twitter giveaway. So you need to follow Luminosity GG as well as at GoRGNTV, and then retweet the specific tweet mentioning that field-tested Karambit Crimson Web, and you are entered in. That's all you need to do. It will be given away at the end of our Pro Series. And again, we're in lower bracket round 3. The winner of this will face off against Enemy GG in the lower bracket finals, and we'll find out who that 3rd place spot's going to be, and then we'll also see who is going to make it into the grand finals to meet up against CLG, who's currently sitting in that position. So, again, moving into the next half here, we see Sponsorless now on their CT side and their map choice. Let's see if they got what it takes. Pistol round. We saw the T side get it in the last half, and that was the start to that 5-0 for Sponsorless. Can Team Liquid pull off similar things?
Yeah, it's going to be a great lead for Sponsorless if they can take this pistol round. And Inferno, some similarities to Dust 2 in my eyes, and Liquid dominated Sponsorless's Dust 2 CT side, so need to get it together as a unit, because Liquid was able to find the entries and the trades, and Sponsorless really crumbled whenever Liquid decided to execute. Fugly gets a ton of intel that Sponsorless is pushing down Banana. The rest of Liquid sitting at the back of middle, or alternate middle to be exact.
This looks like a hard
round.
counter to like a team that will go full pistol armor and rush down middle and Banana. You just camp on T stairs and basically provide kind of crossfires for that, but you wait. That's my read on the situation anyhow. Otherwise, they're just looking for some intel, but I think that's a great setup for a really aggressive CT pistol round.
Yeah, if you're worried about it, I mean, it's I guess they could easily just cut it off with the smoke if they thought it was coming, but safe start nonetheless here from Liquid. And Sponsorless allowed to set up as they please, now pushed off of Banana. Shazam pushing into the apartments. Liquid can't get him down. And Shazam still alive, gonna go into Janitor here. He's gotta catch him off guard. Shazam takes the fight, loses it to Hiko. Now wrapping into the bomb site is Liquid. Naf from the pit, able to take off a Dren's head. Daps also assisting. Nap's still alive. Daps from the site, looking to help his teammate out. The player watching the flank from Liquid, Fugly, trying to get into the action. Hiko with another one this round. Fugly comes up from mid. How do they get the bomb down, though? Still teaming with CTs is the A bomb site. Running out of time now is Liquid. They're going to both try to come from Moto here. But this is looking very bleak for them. I don't know how they're going to get the frag and get the bomb down here. Running out of time. Can't take down Daps. Still alive. Pico's going to go for the knife. But with 4 seconds remaining, nothing going to happen for him. Sponsorless taking both pistol rounds.
Yeah, really impressive stuff from them as they try and take an A, and the CT pistols seem to be taken off head. Sponsorless. Nice hold on that A bomb site, and we saw in the end the situation. He tried to make it work there on the T front, but not able to do so. But like you have kind of coined it, the second pistol round, we've got Team Liquid with the Tech 9 armor by. We're gonna head up towards second middle. Do they go for maybe an apartments kind of waterfall technique? Do they go for boiler middle? Looks like they're gonna send a flash up into apartments, and it is going to be an apartments heavy play. So they split out a boiler. We do see Rix at the end of Bauk. And we got Rush actually near truck, actually falling back into the site. So we'll see if this works out for the Team Liquid side, as they are heavily invested in this one.
And Rick's still ready to go from the apartments. They're going to try to split onto middle eventually. Now they're going to let their banana player try to fake a little bit. Sponsorless throwing their second smoke down banana. Fugly tries to go out, meets the P90 of Rick's. And I'm surprised that Nitro would make the call to go back towards B, or at least call that it's a good idea for his teammates. Because now they're going to pop back to the smoke. Wait a minute, this could work out great for them. They catch Naf. It was the plan all along. Now they got to run through fire. The shotgun of Naf can only find one, and now Liquid with the bomb site and these Tech 9s, they could steal this.
Yeah, and I'm wondering if the read there was, there's a shotgun, we have armor, let's go for it. But Hiko going to come in contact with two. Banana takes down the first. Can he get the can he get Rix as well? Not going to be able to, as he's got that Pro 90 hand switch is off to a FAMAS. They do have a kit to work with here. And a leash from Spindles, not able to get his work done. A Dren. Big positional advantage considering he does spot out Rix. Takes him down. It's up to Shazam. And oh, Shazam will get the running spray down. 6 hit points
left. What's he doing? What's he doing?
He's looking for the kit, it looks like, but he can't find it. Are you kidding me? And that's going to be the round. He can't find the kit. I'm going to scour this bomb site here. Where did that player go down? Because they did have at least one kid coming into that retake, I do believe, but he's not able to find it, and that's Team Liquid taking one where, to be fair, that was basically the first 5 rounds in a lot of respects for the CT side of Liquid, and that just barely squeaking it out on those 1v1s was the sponsorless side, so now they will have some fortune go back their way.
Yeah, it's just a hallmark of a great team. When you can lose both pistol rounds and still win the match, you're doing something right. And now sponsorless here buying up a little bit. Liquid getting control of the banana, making sure nothing happens, and maybe my timing was just a bit off, but I think Shazam, if he would have hopped on it right away, may have had a chance.
Right.
I could be wrong, but he spent a lot of time running around in the fountain, and it's not like the bomb was close to the 5-second mark at the start. Maybe he could have caught it done, but I'll trust his assessment more than mine. As Liquid taking into the bomb site here, get a player. Oh, runs across, and surprised Shazam even got that frag, but Liquid go back to the other bomb site. They do get that first player, but a lot of information for Liquid, realizing that it is a B take. So let's go and fight this sole guy at A.
Yeah, and they're going to take on Rix. Immediately goes down. So they do have these 2 SMGs to work with, Rush and Naf. As Fugly takes the first engagement. He's right up Moto there. Doesn't get anything done as Naf, but Rush does find one. And of course gets double the amount he would if he had a pistol in that scenario. So at least gets $600. It's like he's getting a double kill with that pistol, but 9-9. You see Team Liquid moving things back up now on the T front. CT's a bit of an economy to play with here, and yeah, they do go for the buy. So 2 FAMAS will make it onto the field. We'll see if they're able to make this work. Obviously, Shazam would love to have an op in his hands, but with this economy, they are going to try and fight for the momentum. Not a big surprise, but see if they can do it with kind of the ill-equipped buy they went for.
Yeah, they're going to go for it right here and now. Going with the banana aggression, tons of spam down banana. Liquid comfortable with not contesting it just yet. Realizing they're in danger via any nades coming through, pre-nades from sponsorless if they want to aggress banana. So Liquid just going to let this dissipate at banana, get control of the apartments, I assume, before they make the move. No, they're not going to wait. They're going to take up middle right now. Go for the player inside of library. Shazam, he would love to have an op in this situation. We'll see if he can get it done with the M4. Gets the crossing player down, but he eats a flashbang. Still alive. Great frag there for Adren. They're splitting onto the A bomb site. Still 2 CTs in pit, however.
See Rush and Rick's going to be combined as the pit defense, and you know that at least one of these players is residing there. Nap onto Elige. They planted an A, but positional advantage to the CTs as still have players in pit. Actually, Hiko's going to find Rix here, but he's not able to connect on a second one. Sponsorless will be able to take their round, where I wouldn't call it a force buy, as they did have rifles across, but it was maybe a little bit less than what they wanted to play with. Coming into this next though, they get rid of those FAMAS. 2 AKs will be the replacements, and Sponsorless hitting double digits now on their CT side.
I'm wondering if Liquid are thinking about buying here. They would have enough to go for a good just execute. Tech-9's not too bad of a weapon by any means. So they are going to buy, realizing where the CTs are standing economically speaking. And it's a big round here for Sponsorless. If they drop this one, well, they're going to drop the lead to Liquid. And if Liquid lose it, well, the CTs might get a good economy going. Liquid going for that banana control. They do force the CTs off of it. And the bomb down at the stairs, so not gonna be taking any time soon. As they garner control of both banana as well as the apartments. Fugly's not gonna go for the apartments control, and Liquid still providing a lot of notice to Sponsors that they are at B. Adren through the smoke with the reply onto Nav. And this is interesting from Liquid because they're showing a lot of numbers, but they're not committing, but they're still ready to commit at any time. So this makes it a little wary for Sponsorless in terms of their decision making, because you can't really get a read on Liquid if they're still going to commit, because Liquid have the numbers there, but it may just seem like a big fake.
Yeah, especially considering the time. They have plenty to play with. If it's maybe with 20 seconds left, much different situation, but they've got plenty of time, like you had stated, to essentially be able to work back and forth, and they don't have to fully commit that early on. And you see 4-on-4. Fugly is peeking towards A, and oh, I think he spotted Rix up on the balk there. Saw the end of his barrel. He's gather a little bit of info, and you actually see a minor rotate from Shazam. This could be the timing they're looking for, as it's exactly the case. Dap gonna be the only one from New Box. They do get that. Do they get a smoke down? I didn't actually spot it. They don't, and Shazam comes into the equation. They didn't get anything done though, and Fugly finds one back over at A. This looking not so good for the CT side, but they do have.
Beautiful.
Wow, Elysian Fugly taking down the last two before I could even highlight the hit points of the T side. Double digits here for Team Liquid as they work that slow banana play, and then with that one player able to kind of shift that rotate off, and yeah, it worked out great for them.
And Liquid did a really good job just masking what they're planning on doing. It was a fake that was never really a fake, and there was so much presence by Liquid at banana the whole time where they look like they might commit for a long time if you're from the Sponsorless their vantage point. But then that one player that they rotated back from Liquid, Fugly, we saw how worried Sponsorless was that they could be falling back towards the A-bomb site. Just one player making a little bit of noise prompted that to come through, and I think a lot of that was off the back of how well Liquid sold that banana fake, but that wasn't a fake.
I would completely agree. It definitely threw the Sponsorless side off their mark and gave them a poor read on the situation. In this one, we will see Elige takes down Rush first and foremost. Rix might be able to get something done here, and he does exactly that. Takes down Fugly as he pushes up through apartments. He'll grab an AK for his effort. Now he's behind enemy lines. They need to worry about him kind of lurking through T apartments here. You can see Elige on his way over, and doesn't know. Oh, Rix gets the timing as Elige, nice flick on him, gets him to 36, but this is looking like a bit of a scary round here as they will think about going towards B, but Shazam takes out Nitro long distance in middle. They're going to have to commit here to B.
Yeah, they just got to deal with this player in garden. They're running out of time, though. The rotate's coming through. They're realizing this, trying to get into the bomb site. Adren onto Nap. There's one player left up at New Box, trying to finish him, but the rotate has arrived. Shazam likely going to get one before he's spotted out, getting the bomb down safely as Hiko here. So they are doing this. Shazam, he burns!
There was a fire that was still down, and he walked into it. Sad, sad times.
I missed how the other kill came through, too. What?
To be fair, I didn't even realize that there was an incendiary down in that position. Yeah, that's going to be that. Shazam, like you had stated, I thought for certain he would maybe get the jump on one of them, create a one-on-one, something to that effect, but nowhere near the case. He takes himself out of the situation.
Hard one to lose if you're Sponsorless. That was your ticket to control the match, and now Liquid with the lead, and Sponsorless on the save once more. Yeah, Rick's got the kills at the start of the round, and then he pushed through all the way down the halls. And he does it again here. Liquid, got to put a stop to that. But now Rix is going to fall back with that. Before he pushed all the way through down into the T-side halls. Now, is that a good idea? It could be if there's any sort of follow-up or adjustment from Sponsorless. But that was just a straight-up Rix play where he did it alone, and there was no contingency or follow-up for Sponsorless. I thought they could have made more out of what Rix was doing there, but they still made the round extremely close anyways.
They certainly did, as we are going to see. Looks like another B-side play. Naf and Daps playing close at first and second set of oranges, and Rush on the other side of the smoke. He will decide to go towards construction. We see Daps get one, Naf with one as well, and this is looking promising, but Rush, can he get anything more? Not going to be the case, as they get both down to half hit points, and Duran and Nitro. It's up to Rix as he rotates through CT spawn, slowly making it up to front side of Dren, getting that bomb set next to Spindle, and with very little hit points, actually an overkill from Nitro there as he takes off the head of Rix, and 12 rounds now for Liquid as they're looking to pull away and close out this map. Sponsorless, they had such an advantage coming into their CT side, but Liquid is just letting them have it, and like you had stated, similar to how on Dust 2 they kind of had a pretty good time at kind of picking apart the CT side defense. It's looking pretty similar here.
Pretty similar. And Sponsorless gonna go for the B-side stack. I don't think Liquid's gonna have any problem dealing with this given their passivity at the start of the rounds thus far. And Rix, does he just continue his solo aggression? Because he hasn't lost an opening duel in some time. This time not gonna go for it though. And Liquid balled up at middle. And they're probably just gonna execute in. They don't have any control of Banana. So yeah, it is just gonna be a straight up A execute. The B stacking player has now arrived for a Sponsorless. He is inside of the library though. Got to get himself in on the action. It's going to be the Rush show this round. Takes out two. Going the way of Sponsorless as Hiko does take control of the pit. Right back for him is Rush, still alive down there. And Dren left alone. Going to be hard to get the bomb down. Makes it a 1-on-2. Sponsorless now playing it a bit more apprehensive after a Dren gets that kill. So he gets the bomb down safely. How does he isolate the CTs, though? He's got to take the fight onto one of them, make sure he's safe from the other player. Daps wins the fight straight up. And Sponsorless still alive here, 12-11.
We'll survive with two left up as well. We would love to have been a third, but we saw Dren take that player's life, and now the T's, they got 11,500 on a Dren. But I think they'll be buying this to keep things close for us as Sponsorless. They do get their full buy-in, but it drains their economy completely. So this is a bit of a swing round situation. The team that wins this round right here is definitely going to hurt the other team's chances. You could say that about a lot of rounds, but this one specifically is the economy almost identical on either sides.
Yeah, it's pretty similar here. Neither team can afford to drop one. Apartments pressure as well as banana pressure here from Sponsorless. And Liquid haven't been dedicating a lot of numbers to take control of the apartments. And the duel is won by Elige. So with just one player slowly getting control, they do win the fight. And now Sponsorless, it's time to guess. And Liquid, they haven't taken control of Banana yet, so I think it's in their best interest to get control of Banana before they make their move. If they don't take control of Banana, then it kind of makes their lead null, because Sponsorless will still be able to rotate in time towards B. But with the smoke dissipating, that's what I expect to see from Liquid before they make their decision.
And Naf is about halfway up as well. They've got a boost up over the smoke. He's going to toss a flash and get out of there. So now that forward position is gone, we see Rix comes in contact with Elige. So that trade eventually comes in, as Elige getting that first blood in the round. And Rix thinking about pushing up here, has a read on Fugly being at bench, and oh boy, that worked out really well for him. And we can see the B-side take underway though. Naf goes down to Nitro, but it will be Dabs to trade. Hiko and Adren making it into the bomb site. We see Shazam get dropped by Hiko, so 2-on-2 here as Adren and Hiko. We'll see if they have what it takes.
Lots of questionable fights being taken by both sides. Now 2-on-2, both players from Sponsorless coming up from the garden. First man to contest is Adren. Actually, it's Hiko. Adren all alone. Rix gets it done. And I think that's a 4K for him. Rix was everywhere that round. And he pushed down middle. And then he comes from CT. Let's not forget that he just got that frag onto Fugly. So Rix really getting some good use of his legs that round. And if you're Liquid, do you expect that second player to be there, given that Rix was just middle? I don't know. I didn't know. I didn't catch if Fugly spotted him on his def cam.
Yeah, I'm not too certain either, and yeah, that's definitely a cool piece of info as we're going to see Sponsorless looking to close out map number 2 here. Team Liquid, they are going to be able to afford a little bit in terms of, we can see a vest on 2 players, upgraded pistols, but it's just to keep them all around. You can see it's actually pretty in formation. You can see pretty much 2,200, 25 on a couple others, but they're all at about the same, and with 3 rounds worth of loss bonus, should be all right coming into the next. Now, Dap's playing at Car here. This could go really great for him, but he also could maybe come in contact with those armored players first and foremost, and then maybe not so much. They do have 3 players actually stacked towards B, though.
They're going to
Team
pop
Liquid
flash with the smoke here.
It does look like to be the case, and now, here we go. B-side play looking to be underway. No, not quite yet. So they do Molotov towards Car and toward... How is Daps... I have no idea how Daps just survived through that. So that was a Molotov that was off its mark, and they think that they're going to have a clear area to get through. Not the case at all. They do Molotov. So they Molotov towards sandbags, they Molotov towards Car, and that's their way of clearing things out. But you can see Daps from Car, that Molotov did not stretch far enough to get him out of there, and then he had quick assistance from over his shoulder. So Sponsorless, take an easy one for themselves.
And they went for the tricky stuff too. They threw the flash over and then they threw the Molotov. I was wondering why they didn't just pop flash through the smoke and rush through it like they did before, which worked for them. So they go for the pop flash and they try to molly off Car, but ends up doing no damage somehow. That Car, you know, it's impenetrable. It has been for decades, or a decade, I should say, through the other game. And now Liquid spread out. 2-1-2, still getting control of the halls here. Liquid waiting for the smoke at the bottom of a banana to dissipate before they try to counter aggress and pushing down. And Sponsorless sensing weakness. They know only 1 player's here, and Sponsorless winning the duels at A as well. It looks like we might see Sponsorless take map number 2 here, unless you see some crazy stuff from Nitro.
1-on-4. He's done some crazy things in the past year. Going back to Dust 2, that clutch that, again, I believe that was a 1-on-4. So, see if he can repeat the performance on Inferno. 45 seconds to do so. Going to work up towards Arch side. We can see on our mini-map, it's going to be 2 at each bomb site here. So if he does decide to go through CT spawn, he'll have NAF to deal with at Speedway. And then in the bomb site itself will be a player waiting. This might be his opportunity, although NAF, depending on how NAF peeks this, he does spot a shoulder, but Nitro not able to get that shot in. Or recoil controlled in time, and NAF takes him down. Means that Sponsorless moves out to 14 rounds, 2 away from closing things out, and Team Liquid, pretty broken economy here.
And if my atrocious memory serves me right, map 3 will be Mirage.
You are correct, my friend.
All right,
On
Liquid
point.
here. See where they want to go with their force buy. I assume it'll be a train with all these Tech 9s, but no, they're going to split up. And the alt mid and Nitro here. I'm going to chuck some nades up mid. Only guys split off. Now they do group up. This is weird from Liquid. Given their buy, they're playing it like a normal gun round. I expect them to eventually open up with a mid bust. Probably a wrap of some sorts. They're waiting for the smokes of Sponsorless to dissipate at mid. And I like this from them. We've all rushed through smokes at mid. And usually you just die and question why whoever's calling would call that. So Liquid are going to wait for it, but Shazam through the smoke finds his target. That's a Dren down, and that weakens the Liquid take when it comes through. And another smoke following up. From the Sponsorless side, Liquid got to play the waiting game a little bit longer. And this is just good Inferno by Sponsorless. This is why the smokes are so important on this map. It's a map of choke points. You can basically decide when you will allow the T-side to execute. But a good mid-fake being thrown by Liquid. Unfortunately, nobody's rotating from Sponsorless.
Nitro does come in contact with NAF towards B, but NAF getting 2 for himself. Now it's Fugly's turn. Liege. And they will eventually take down 2. It's whether or not they expect Shazam to be here. And he's lurking in wait toward that CT side of the bomb site. 15 rounds here for Sponsorless, so 1 away from sending us to the beautiful Mirage as map number 3. We will see 1 more buy at a Team Liquid. Much more equipment in this round than in the last. But, like you were saying, a little bit of a disjointed play as they were waiting for that smoke, looking for the gathered up play, but sponsorless. I wouldn't even necessarily say it was their fault, Team Liquid, that it was disjointed. Shazam getting that early pick and then the continuation of that smoke play, and it just did not work out in their favor, and then towards top Banana as well. Now Team Liquid, they take Banana control, and they actually have pretty much free real estate in this respect. We got Naf getting a boost up in sight, and they're going to be allowed to walk just right into the bomb site here.
Naf forced to fall off of his position. Dabs goes down. Naf, second orange is here, tries to line him up, but no, Liquid find both frags, and they still have, I believe, Fugly. Yes, this man is always lurking. Spots the player. Fugly has been such a good lurker. Even though Liquid on the verge of losing the map, Fugly, whenever Liquid get that opening into Banana, Fugly's been coming out and being a massive nuisance for sponsorless. It makes your rotate so hard because you want to go quickly into B, but you're likely just going to be donating a frag because Fugly is somewhere lurking.
Right, just hiding out. As sponsorless, they've got 2 more chances to close this out before we would see an overtime. All of a sudden, that's a whole new ball game here. As Team Liquid having a lot of success in that last one, and they need to put these last 2 on the board, otherwise we move to Mirage. Adren and Hiko getting Banana control early. Fugly and Elige towards Apartments. They are going to group up, kind of shoulder to shoulder. And I like this as, again, kind of guarantees the frags in a lot of respects. Well, I wouldn't say guarantees, as there is a possibility you get blindsided and you somehow line up, but they are going to separate slightly. Fugly looking towards back halls and balcony. Elige looking towards boiler. So they're just going to play their time here and see if they can find any early advantages. That will definitely open things up in a lot of respects, and there it is. Elige peeks out from boiler, spots out Shazam, and Elige, so impressive with, again, the guy plays at pretty monstrous sensitivity. Looks over towards Arch, makes it look easy, takes down Shazam, and yeah, now the player advantage to the T side. Liquid having an opportunity here to maybe get that 14th.
And we have Naf peeking into Banana here.
Oh,
Doesn't get the frag. Daps has rotated in time. Liquid don't have to come in if they don't want to. And of course, who's lurking? Fugly's lurking. Can he continue his success? This time doesn't get a kill. Problem being, look at how apprehensive sponsorless were to rotate. Now they just have to save. I mean, Fugly's position has been so good. I'm not sure if it was Fugly alone that caused sponsorless to take so much time rotating, or if they just thought that Liquid would come back towards A. I think it was Fugly because Naf spotted numerous members taking in towards B, and sponsorless were looking for him.
I would definitely have to agree in that Fugly has done that time and time again. He's done it enough that it's certainly in the back of the sponsorless their head that anytime they're rotating to B, they got to be aware that Fugly is more than likely somewhere behind them trying to cut off their rotate one way or another. So yeah, and if you're Fugly there, yeah, he went down, but he has already struck fear in their eyes. So, like, he has already done his goals. It would have been great if he gets the frag on top of it, as we'd see less weaponry for sponsorless moving into this next. But nonetheless, the mental advantage is there in that now the flinch aspect sponsorless always thinking about his presence, and coming into this 15th, or rather this 30th round, we're not going to see a heck of a lot in the form of equipment from the CT side. Definitely less equipped than what they've been in the past.
And we'll see if Liquid decide to play it slowly, because there is, I was going to say, a lack of smokes on the sponsorless side, but you see the importance of smokes on this map for a CT. Even though sponsorless is very broke, all of them spot smokes. Now Banana trying to be taken by Liquid. Sponsorless countering with some nades of their own. And minor damages, both scuffed up a little bit. Both Rush as well as Rix. And an entry frag by Elige onto Daps. Another one. Oh, Elige single-handedly bringing us to overtime here. Bomb still at the stairs. Nitro has to be careful not to give away the advantage. And very carefully doesn't do that. So massive disadvantage here for sponsorless. And we are on to overtime. Save a miracle.
Rush, he does click away Nitro. So 1v4 now, as maybe he took some of Nitro's powers. Nitro being capable of such feats in the past map. So Rush gets the second one as well. Needs to complete this ace, though, if he wants to make this work. Moving up towards top middle. He does have time, but he's got 3. Okay, hold that thought, as we do see Fugly take him down as soon as he peeks truck side. 15 to 15. Sponsorless now. On overtime, they will start on the CT half. So whether that be a disadvantage or advantage, I kind of leave to you, as Team Liquid having a lot of momentum on their T side, now moving into their T side of overtime and a smaller sample size, meaning that one round can be two even. Can be all it takes is if you got a strong CT side. So this is going to be a very interesting overtime here, again with Team Liquid starting on the T half.
Yeah, I expect Rix in specific to go for something on this opening gun round, but I have to favor Liquid at this point. They've gotten a good feel for how Sponsorless is playing it. If they get the early advantage in the round, Liquid's success rate is really high. Fugly's been lurking extremely well. I think it's up to Sponsorless to really find an answer to close this match out, because if they take 1 or 2 rounds, I think they're going to be able to close it out on the CT side.
I would have to agree, as leaves it in Sponsorless's court. Ball is in their court is what I was attempting to get at, that phrasing, but moving into the first.
Speaking of courts, if anybody's coming out to the win-out land, Chad and I are going to check out the spot where Fresh Prince of Bel-Air was first aired that basketball court.
This is true.
Side note, but I'm really excited.
We're also going to check out the Rocky Stairs, and I'm very excited about that as well. As we're going to have to get like some music filming going. Anyhow, nonetheless, we're not that lame. I don't know if we'll go to that extent, but still very excited for the win-out land. Certainly is. Sponsorless, they get Shazam with that op from the get-go. Nitro, same situation. So one thing we didn't really touch basis on is the fact that they both start with this full economy, and now they get that full look. As there was a lot of battling back and forth, and there was a lot of rounds maybe lesser equipped than you would have liked. So we'll see if Shazam has what it takes. May even battle off against Nitro, but it is going to be Rick's first blood as a Liege, so integral to getting them into overtime. He peeks towards Boiler where he had all that success, but Rick's finally gets the jump on him.
Yeah, I can't blame him for peeking, really. He was playing hot. And now advantage for Sponsorless. Liquid waiting for this last smoke to dissipate at Banana before they go for total control. Fugly has worked himself solo out mid. Nobody with the bomb in their hands here from Liquid, so it's going to take them a bit longer if they want to commit onto something. But Fugly has provided Sponsorless the info that somebody from Liquid is at mid, but Liquid are heading back towards this B bomb site. Zaps gets a ton of info himself, now falling back into the bomb site. Sponsorless, the rotate is already here, but they're going to commit. Don't have a lot of time left. 30 seconds. Can Liquid find the entry? They rush the bomb across. Nap as well as his teammate. Oh man, Sponsorless with a triple crossfire. I'd be amazed if Liquid come out on top of this. But they do. They get all 3 frags. How does that happen? And a Drench through the smoke. What a change of fate.
That was absolutely insane. And Sponsorless, yeah, the smoke comes in towards construction. Actually, we'll hold that thought as Rush. Maybe he can make this 1v3 work. Okay, so they're playing double at dark spot. And this Incendiary is a pretty hard counter, but Fugly takes him down. Still, Adren dies, and you can see how that would have gotten very interesting if Fugly doesn't instantly kill him once that Incendiary leaves his hands.
And that's cool by Rush. I mean, that's one way to do it, to make sure there's not double at the dark spot, which is becoming more and more of a prevalent play from site holders. Good on Rush, but doesn't do it. He gets dropped immediately after throwing it. So, first round for Liquid. Is that all they need? Let's check it out. And aggression by Sponsorless trying to come down B here. A little disjointed. If Liquid had one more member there, I'm sure they would have traded off. Pico does a good amount of damage onto Naf. Ooh, almost gets naded down from the response nade by Liquid. So good on Sponsorless. I mean, realizing Banana maybe is a little weak, like in an anticipatory push, really. I'm not sure if that was a read or if they just wanted to get aggressive.
And nonetheless, they do take down Hiko, and Nitro caught off guard there inside a Boiler. As we see that a Molotov coming in, or Incendiary rather, and then the peek behind it. This is going to be a 3-on-5. That being said, not exactly your standard 3v5, but we do have 2 players fairly low. That being said, see if they come into the equation. Shazam goes down, so more than likely they are going to come into the equation. Still top middle control, and Liquid now get to play games here, as they've got 40 seconds to kind of make the CT side kind of guess on where they are going to go. And at the moment, we can see that there's kind of one player, Daps. He's not stuck in transition. He's going to play arch side, kind of close rotate. But if they go truck side, he's not really going to be involved in this defense, and it does look like that's going to be the play.
And Rix finds Fugly from the pit area, looking for the player side. What? A Dren hits a no-scope? That should not have happened. Liquid I don't know how Adren is
Oh
hitting
my
these shots
God.
in these scenarios, but he's doing it 2-on-2 now. Adren looking for more with the AWP, goes for more pre-fires. Why not? Everything's working for him, but he does fall, and Elige goes down to Daps, jumping up and down. I hope we caught that shot. If we didn't, well, it probably would have hurt your eyes because he was blind, and he shot it through the crack into pit. It was no scope. I don't know how that happened, but 16-16.
Unreal stuff there, yeah. As Team Liquid almost do what they did in the last, where it's like, okay, this is not a good situation for them to be pushing into, and all of a sudden things swing back their direction. And that almost looked to be the case again, but Sponsorless in the end will be able to take it. And I thought Elige with that jump, he goes for the jumper in that smoke, spots out where Daps is at, and maybe a moment later he would go for that shot and most likely get the kill. I think Daps was a little low as well, but Daps on point. That's the end of that second round. Now we're on the third round here of OT. Big one for both sides, as CTs have already given up a round. That's something you don't want to happen. You would love to be able to win out, as then it's only one round to win on that T-Hap. And it looks like Liquid, they've put Daps in a really bad spot here, as Elige is going to be able to take down Rush, and Shazam does find Fugly again towards that A side, but Adren making it work, will be able to take down Naf, and that should be their B side control.
Adren in this overtime has just been unreal, what he's been able to do. So 2-on-3 here, maybe for the match. Sponsorless really need this round, cannot afford to lose this half. The first half of overtime here. Shazam on the approach from Garden with his AWP, doesn't spot anybody peeking, and his teammate gets one down to a 1 versus 2. Shazam can't do it. Liquid take the lead 2-1. First half of overtime, and that's massive. Tons of pressure on Sponsorless here if they want to bring it into map number 3.
Certainly, and I will take this very small opportunity, as these guys are readying up very quickly, to talk about Alpha Draft. If you guys are interested in esports fantasy stuff, and you want to make some money being a student of the game, I would highly recommend checking out alphadraft.com. They've got a really, really nice interface and setup for doing exactly that. More than just on Counter-Strike as well. They got some other games there. But Counter-Strike is more or less all I know about it, because that's the only game I really follow, to be fair. But again, they allow you to look at a night of matches. You get a salary. You get 6 players on your team. And then you pick an actual overall team that you think is going to do very well. And again, if you are a student of the game, there is plenty of money to be made. And alphadraft.com is where you should check it out. 17-16 though, Team Liquid. Now moving on to their CT front. Now Sponsorless, they had a really, really solid T-side start. Is that going to reflect here inside of overtime, or is Team Liquid going to have a good read on what is in front of them?
It remains to be seen. Another thing I'm interested about is Liquid. They went with aggression on their first gun round and regulation on their CT side. Do we see that here on the first half or second half of overtime? So far, maybe. Hiko and Elige have been continuously aggressing Banana. And this time they're going to play it soft. So we see the adjustment. Majority of regulation contesting Banana was Liquid. Now, he's playing it passive. At the other bomb site, Liquid, 2 at the arch side, 1 guy in the pit. So Sponsorless, they don't know that they have free control of the halls and Banana, but soon they will realize it. And how do they find an entry here? Given that Liquid is playing soft, a lot of times on Inferno, you get control of the apartments as well as Banana. Then it just becomes a question of you've accomplished what you sometimes have to fight for at the start of the round on Inferno, but now can you execute onto a bomb site? You know there's going to be 3A and you know there's going to be 2B, unless you know that because there's no Banana control for Liquid, so there would be a hard read for them to stack the A bomb site.
Ren actually, an incendiary, or smoke rather, hits him in the face, but doesn't seem to disorient him very much, as he does help out Nitro, takes down the first player, Rush, to go down in this round. 30 seconds left, and it's looking like very little time to actually break into A. Need to find these frags instantly, and that's exactly what happened. So great news for them, as it's up to Adren as he's on arch side. He is going to have some players rotating in, but great start here for Sponsorless, as couldn't have asked for a better entry into the site.
Yeah, winning both the duels. Some spam coming in from the library side. Going to try to come up from Porch. Nap out of position. Now 3-on-3 here. Shazam from the pit getting bombarded with flashbangs. There's 2 in the pit, actually. One of them goes down. Now it's Shazam's turn from the pit. He needs to find a way to help his teammate. He misses his shot, and his teammate goes down. Liquid on the verge of moving up to 18 points. Shazam trying to hop in the smoke. Gets one of them. but they are going to have just enough time to get the defuse. Got a little scary for Liquid there, and somehow they come back. Shazam could have played that a lot better.
Yeah, and it's not going to work out. 18 match point here. Liquid 1 away from closing this out 2-0 as Sponsorless really looked promising. And not to say they're out of this, but they do need to secure 2 T-side rounds to push it to a second OT. So that is kind of a bleak situation to be in. That being said, they have had a lot of success on this map. They made it this far. They got to take it round for round here, as Adren does have that op back in his hands. Interesting to note, they don't invest in the op in that first round for the CT side. They go with 5 rifles, but Adren does pick up the Shazam op, as Shazam has named it here, and Adren spots out Shazam and takes him down with his own op. Insult the injury there.
Dang. Get blasted by your own gun. And that might be the end here. Surprising that Adren would continue his aggression at mid. Now he does fall back for the time being. Naf with banana control, trying to provide a distraction. Trying to get Liquid to bite that it might be banana, because the rest of Sponsorless are still trying to work some sort of pick out mid, as well as apartments. But how do you get around the op of Adren? They try to smoke him off. Adren counters with the Molotov. Sponsorless thinking about falling back towards B. And almost a similar situation. Yeah, you have banana control and you have the CTs playing default. Can you execute? And this is for the match here from Sponsorless.
Yeah, they got 30 seconds left as, once again, they
still
down to the wire. Yeah, this is going to be very difficult for them. Similar to how they took into A, they need to get the instant frag, so they don't have a problem getting the bomb set. They got 20 seconds here, and they're taking a lot of damage on their way in. Daps and Naf last up, and this could be it. Naf, can he provide a 1v3 with 10 seconds? I'm thinking it's looking bleak here. He needs to get the bomb down as well. If he doesn't find the frags, and Elige knows. He knows. He just has to play the time, and that's going to be that. 19-13. That is going to be a 2-0 victory here for Team Liquid. And that means that they've made it to the lower bracket finals. Very exciting stuff for them, as they are going to be facing off against Enemy GG in the lower bracket finals. And Enemy's had some interesting results recently. I think this is one of the matches where they'll take it very, very seriously, as maybe some lackluster results in other ways. But again, that is going to be it for tonight. Impressive performance there from Team Liquid, as looked shaky on Inferno, but an overtime victory, they got the job done. And with Hiko as the stand-in, maybe there's still some little pieces that need to be put into place. Again, he's just a stand-in, so we'll see how that turns out. As for this Tempo Storm or ex-Tempo Storm lineup, we'll see how that turns out, as they do have some Elevate players that were playing with them. We really have no idea how that's going to look in the future here. Nonetheless, again, that is going to be it. If you guys would like to follow us on Twitter, at GoRGN would be the way to do so. You can get information on future matches and such. We don't have our lower bracket final scheduled as of yet, but it will be scheduled very, very soon. So again, hope you have a good night. You can follow me at Official Sprawl, at LaserJesus as well, and we'll see you guys again really soon.